Thanks, folks. You, of course, heard this on all the guitar parts and the bass guitar in the track at the beginning of the video. It's the Pod Go from Line 6. And I bet some of you out there are wondering, how close is this thing to a Helix? Can it do most or almost all of what a Helix can do? I will attempt to answer that question in this video. Spoiler alert, it does a lot. It doesn't do everything a Helix can do, but it does quite a bit. And if you're used to using Helix, as far as the functionality and the programming, the layout and all that, it's super similar. Are the tones the same? Well, actually in one part of this video I'm going to show you, I loaded up a model and a cabinet sim in my Helix rack over there in my desk, and then I loaded up the exact same one in here in the Pod Go, and we're going to A/B them and listen. Another spoiler alert, I can't hear any difference. They sound basically exactly the same. Now, in videos like this, what I like to do for products like this, like the Pod Go, I like to mostly make music. I want to write a cool song, and then I want to break down all the parts from that song and show you all the individual tones that I was able to come up with. I like to keep these videos mainly about music and not about features and every single last detail. For that stuff, you can go to the Line 6 website. It's down in the video description below. You can click there and you can learn everything you could possibly want to know about this thing when it comes to the nitty-gritty details. Having said that, I'll just go over a couple things right now. As I was saying earlier, if you're used to using a Helix, it's really similar as far as programming and the layout and everything. You got the controls here that if you've got an amp model loaded up, these are going to control, things like the bass and the treble and the gain and stuff. If you've got an effect loaded up, these knobs right here are going to control things like the delay feedback and delay time and things like that. One thing you don't have in this unit is the scribble strips from the Helix, but they're color-coded, just like on a lot of other Line 6 units. So, if you're familiar with Line 6, you're going to know that, for instance, the green means that's a delay. So if you know the Helix, you used it, you're going to know what those colors mean. All the saving presets and stuff like that's really similar from the Helix as well, and you also get a great big master volume knob over here, just like on the Helix in a similar position. Great expression pedal in this thing. It's super robust. It's all metal, and the expression pedal has a toe switch. So that means you can do two different things with it. The most common thing, of course, would be a volume pedal, hit the toe switch, and it becomes a wah. But actually, like in that track at the beginning of the video, I, for instance, routed delay feedback on one preset to the expression pedal, and I hit the expression pedal all the way up, and that made the delay feedback tail out. Yeah, pretty much any effect parameter you can route to the expression pedal control via this pedal. You got a built-in effects loop as well if you want to patch in a pedal effect or something like that, or you can of course use this to go 4-cable method with an amplifier. So I actually did that for the solo in the song at the beginning of the video. Every other part was tracked direct using this as a modeler and all the speaker simulation and everything. But for the solo, that last solo lead guitar part, I went into here and then came out of Pod Go into my PT15 amp, and then I came out of the load box output of the PT15 with the speaker simulation on the amp disabled, and I went back into the Helix and I did the speaker simulation within the Helix and then added some post-stereo effects and went into my recording interface. So more on that in a little bit here, but I wanted to see how cool it was to use it 4-cable method, because I really like that functionality on the Helix and the HX effects as well, and turns out it works great. What else am I missing? It's got a USB jack and a great editor. It looks a lot like the Helix computer editor, just a little bit simpler. You've got a phones jack there, that's really nice. And you've also got a dry amp output here, okay? So that means you're gonna be able to run like a dry amp on stage without any of the effects if you wanna do that. There's also reamp capability if you wanna like record a DI line out of this while you're tracking guitar parts for an album or something, then you can go back and reamp later. As you can tell, I've been holding it up the whole time I've been talking. Light, compact. All right, so let's break down a bunch of those tones from the song at the beginning of the video outside of the mix now. I was really stoked on the tones I was able to get. I got really wobbly with some of the vibrato and modulation and stuff like that, and the reverb tones. I used some of the newer Line 6 reverbs, like the Ganymede one, and I don't know, I just had a lot of fun. So let's break down all these sounds, including the bass guitar, and listen to them outside the mix. Here we go. So I played a guitar loop into my TC Ditto looper here, and then I loaded up in the Pod Go the Placator Dirty amp, which is one of my favorites, and impulse response that I really like as well. And then I loaded the exact same IR and the exact same amp sim in my Helix rack that's over there on the other side of my desk. I don't want to show it to you because my desk is a disaster area right now on that side. But anyway, then I just hit play on the looper, and I recorded through both the Pod Go and the Helix. And I want you to hear what they sound like, so you can compare the sounds, and you'll know, same amp model, same cab IR, all things equal. How close does the Pod Go sound to the Helix? So I think you can hear basically the exact same sound. So that should answer any questions out there about how close the Pod Go can sound to the Helix with the same amp model and the same cab IR loaded up. Alright you guys, thanks for watching my video on the Line 6 Pod Go. It's a really, really killer sounding unit. I had a lot of fun doing that track. I was really happy with the way it came out. Built-in great expression pedal, ability to host impulse responses, third-party IRs, ability to do reamping, stereo effects loop. Great built-in tuner, by the way. The Line 6 tuner has gotten better and better and better, and I totally trust it now, and I think it works really well in the Pod Go. What's not to like? You can check it out further down in the video description below. Click on those links down there. It's going to take you to all the info that you want to know about the Pod Go. Thanks to my pals at Line 6 for always getting me in on doing videos for their cool new products. They are good folks. Please hit subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell beside the subscribe. Please hit subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell beside the subscribe. You'll get an alert every time I put out a new video. I will see you guys real soon for more videos. I'm Pete Thorn. Over and out.